So you've probably played around with AI chatbots by now, right? Maybe you asked one for a dinner recipe or to help you write an email. But what if AI could go way beyond just talking and actually start doing things for you? Well, today we're diving into the rise of AI agents. This is a seriously powerful new step for AI, and it's already starting to completely change the game in scientific research. Let's get into it. Just let that sink in for a minute. We've gone from asking an AI for a simple list of ingredients to the very real possibility of asking it to design, plan, and carry out a complex research project. That is the massive leap we're talking about here, from a simple, single-shot prompt to a sophisticated, multi-step mission. All right, here's what we've got on deck. We're going to start by breaking down exactly what makes an AI agent so different from a chatbot. Then, we'll look at how they're already being used as research assistants in labs right now, and even how they might help us make brand new discoveries. But we also need a reality check, so we'll talk about the human in the loop before we look ahead to what this all means for the next chapter of science. Okay, first things first. Let's get really clear on what we're talking about with this term AI agent. Because we're shifting from the world of AI that just talks into the world of AI that actually acts. Here is the absolute key difference. A chatbot, it's reactive. You give it a question, it spits back an answer based only on the data it was trained on. That's it. An AI agent, on the other hand, is proactive. You give it a big, complicated goal, and it breaks that goal down into smaller steps, makes a plan, and then connects to external tools, like a web browser or a code interpreter, to actually get the job done in the real world. So the magic word here is agency. An AI agent doesn't just understand language. It uses language to reason, to plan, and to interact with digital tools to achieve a goal. Think of it this way. A chatbot is like a talking encyclopedia. An AI agent is like an actual assistant you can delegate tasks to. It's a huge difference. And this is not some science fiction idea set 20 years in the future. AI agents are being put to work in real, honest-to-goodness research labs as we speak. I mean, just listen to this quote from Marinka Zitnik, a researcher at Harvard. She says every single PhD student in her group now has their own AI agent as a research assistant. Let that sink in. This is happening right now in one of the top universities in the world. It's the new reality for cutting-edge science. So what is this AI assistant actually doing? Well, for now, it's tackling all that essential but often mind-numbing work that's part of any big research project. Things like sifting through and organizing huge data sets, converting messy, unstructured text into neat tables, writing bits of code, or helping a student get a handle on thousands of academic papers for a literature review. It's like an intern that never sleeps. But it gets even cooler than that. Scientists aren't just using one agent at a time. They're actually starting to build entire teams of AI agents that can work together, each one programmed with its own unique expertise, kind of like a real human research team. And this idea is already being put into practice. Microsoft, for instance, is working on an AI tumor board. In a hospital, a tumor board is where all the specialists, the oncologists, surgeons, radiologists, get together to review a tough cancer case. The AI version does the same thing. You've got different AI agents, each an expert on different types of data, and they deliberate with each other to come up with a personalized treatment plan. I mean, just imagine the power of scaling that kind of collaboration. Okay, so these agents are great at helping with tasks we already know how to do. But here's the billion-dollar question. Can they actually help us discover something totally new? This is where things get really exciting. The next frontier is to build what some are calling a co-scientist. And this is an agent that isn't just designed to follow our instructions, but to actually come up with its own ideas, to generate new hypotheses by finding hidden patterns in data that a human might never spot. Marinka Zitnik's team at Harvard is doing exactly that. They gave an AI agent a pretty amazing task. Go search through mountains and mountains of existing data, clinical trials, drug side effects, regulatory filings, and try to find drugs that might have secret protective effects against totally different diseases. Talk about looking for a needle in a haystack. And it worked. The agent actually found something. After churning through all of that data, it flagged a really surprising connection. People with diabetes who were taking a specific drug, dapagliflozin, seem to have a lower rate of Alzheimer's disease later in life. Now, this is exactly the kind of unexpected link that could open up entirely new fields of research, a lead that was found by an AI.
Now, it is so easy to hear a story like that and let our imaginations run wild. But we have to pump the brakes for a second, because there's a massive catch. These systems are incredibly powerful, but they are far from perfect, which brings us to the absolutely critical role of human supervision.
The single biggest issue right now is something you've probably heard of: hallucination. It's a core problem with the large language models that power these agents. Because their whole job is to just predict the next most likely word, they can sometimes just make stuff up and state it with total confidence. They literally don't know what they don't know. And here's a perfect, simple little story that shows what I mean. The AI company Anthropic gave an agent what seems like a basic job: run a vending machine business. Well, what happened? It hallucinated fake bank account numbers, and then it started selling some of its snacks for less than it bought them for, losing money on every sale. It was acting confidently, but it was confidently wrong. So, the lesson here is pretty clear, right? If you can't even trust an agent to sell a bag of chips without going bankrupt, you certainly can't let it run a multi-million-dollar scientific experiment all by itself. For the foreseeable future, a human expert has to be firmly in the loop to check the work, to correct mistakes, and to guide the whole process. So, keeping those risks in mind, what does the future actually hold? Let's wrap up by taking a look at the next chapter for AI in the world of science. This quote from Is Kamar at Microsoft Research really puts things in perspective. The dream of a fully autonomous AI scientist, one you could just tell to go cure cancer and it would design the experiments, run them, and write the paper, that's a long, long way off. That's basically an artificial general intelligence, or AGI, problem, and we are nowhere near solving that yet. So here's the big takeaway for today. It's best to think of these AI agents not as replacements for scientists, but as incredibly powerful co-pilots. They are amazing tools that can handle the tedious work and even point us in new directions, which frees up human researchers to do what we do best: think critically, be creative, and ask the big questions. This is all about supercharging human talent, not making it obsolete. And that really leaves us with a pretty fascinating question for the future, doesn't it? As this human-AI partnership gets closer and closer, that line between the researcher and their tool is going to get awfully blurry. It makes you wonder, when the next huge world-changing discovery is made, will we say it came from a human, or will it have come from the team of a human and their AI agent working together?